how to differentiate root functions. This is quite easy, although when you first look at some kind of root function, you may think, oh my god, but there's a trick. The trick I have here, I'm going to show you in a second. So the trick is actually that you write the root function as some sort, you write the root as a power, and then you already see it, right? Then you can differentiate easily with that power rule. So you just memorize this trick, and then all the differentiation of roots will be quite easy, or not difficult at least. So you see this, we have the square root of 5, and the square root of 5 you can also write like this in this sort of representation. So 5 to the power of a half. So this is a trick. I'm also going to explain it to more details, and sometimes you have different sorts of roots where you have some x in the root, or you have some brackets or something else going on, but basically you have to rewrite your root function into this format. And then it's quite easy. I'm going to show you how it works. How to differentiate roots. Actually not that difficult, but it's a little bit tricky. To be honest, it's quite okay to calculate. You just have to know the power rule, how to differentiate with the power rule, and then you apply the same principle to roots. So how does it work? Let's first talk about roots. So this is like this, called the square root, and you could also write a 2 here. So square root. And it's also possible there are also different roots, like with the 3, but this is not the square root again. This is like, I don't know, this is with the 3, it's a different root, different degree of root. And you can also write it in a different form. Like in this case, you could also write a power, right? You could write 5 to the power of 1, which is also 5. In this case, the same. And there's a second way then for those roots to write them down, which is with a power. So we can write 5 to the power of a half. And in the same way we can here write 5 to the power 1/3. And this is a very important step, and if you have understood this one, then you can also differentiate actually very easily with the power rule. As you can see, this is, you may not be able to differentiate directly, but if you write it down like this, it's quite easy. You see there's a power, so when you have a power, use the power rule, right? And that's actually the trick how to do it. So maybe let's just calculate an example. For example, if we have some sort of root function 2x and it's a square root in this case. So what we can do, of course, we just said it, right? We can write 2x to the power of 1, and we see, okay, if it's this root sign, then we can also write the 2 since it's a square root. Then if we have it like this, I always remember take the power within the root, and then you can build the fraction by this, right? And then you write 2x brackets and then 1/2. So this goes, the 1 goes on the top, and the 2, and I always, when I write it like this, try to write the 1 a little bit higher than the 2, so that I can already see, okay, 1 goes on top, 2 goes below, and then I have to, in this case, 2x to the power of a half. So this is exactly the same, and now I can differentiate it and show you that it's actually quite easy. So just use the power rule. So we take half in front of 2x, we write 2x, and we subtract 1. So a half plus 1 divided by 2 minus 1 is minus a half. Okay? And that's the solution actually. And well, what we can also always do if this is a little bit also tricky, like if we have x to the power of -1 is exactly the same as 1 divided by x. So the minus says that this goes like in the fraction in the lower part. Right? Okay, so we can apply this principle also to the exercise, and then we can write half times 1 divided by square root of 2x. So this is also something you should understand, like when the exercise would be given like this would be the exercise and it would say differentiate, then you can also write this like this, and then you see again, okay, it's the power rule, and then you can differentiate, and then it's quite easy. So the things you have to remember, maybe in this case, this is one thing you should remember with the -1, how to deal with that, and the other thing is how to write the root in a different way with the power, and then actually it's quite easy. Okay, that's how to differentiate roots. Thanks for watching. Practice makes perfect. Further exercises with solutions you can find on my website, which is www.worksheeps.com.